Hey guys, happy Friday. Wanted to get a couple of things out here that came across my desk and just some other things that I wanted to get out there for you if you happen to be either having fun this weekend or if you're thinking of looking at houses. I got something for everybody today. First of all, with the domain name suggestions that I asked for last week, it's clear that I guess I've made I made a little obvious about what my interests are over the last several years on social media. I got a lot of suggestions with 311 having to do with drums, rum, drawing, some real estate. So now it's like trying to find some combination of those things, maybe to actually get a domain that would kind of relay all those things that would probably, I could do a little bit of everything on that website. But I appreciate the suggestions. I'm still getting a couple texted to me. But one thing about that is if you put in a domain name in the bar at the top, even if it says like DNS error, like there's no website there, that doesn't mean that no one has it. A lot of people own websites just to sit on them and try and sell them. So I'm looking for different combinations as I think of them to see if I can find one that would kind of have all of these ideas together in one thing. One of them I thought that was pretty funny was hidetherum.com. I found that one. I might just get it just because. I think that's a kind of a funny one to have. And speaking of 311, I'm going to post a link in the comments here for their new song. If any of you guys still haven't listened to 311 in a while, they're still good. Still rock the house. We've been seeing them like 30 times, but this song jams. It's a great like summer jam. They do a summer tour every year. They do a summer tour, so they jam on this song. So I'm going to post it down there. Going along with the rum thing, shout out to Kristen Boudreau at Gulf Coast Title. She gave me a bottle of some homemade coconut moonshine from someone that she knows. And so I took a little sip earlier, and man, that's going to be a dangerous drink. So we'll wait till this evening when I'm in the safe confines of my house before I take any more of that. All right, on to real estate. I showed a house yesterday. It was a HUD home yesterday. Was it yesterday or I think it was Wednesday? I showed this HUD house, and on paper it looked like a great deal, at least until we got there. And the thing about HUD Homes is that there is a real way to find out exactly if this thing's a good deal pretty quickly, short of going to go see it. But, the house was listed for $88,000. It was on an acre down in Gonzales, although I think it may have technically still had a Prairieville address. But this house took on a little bit of water, and whoever had it before and put it back together, they didn't do a great job on it. So even when you start to see $88,000 for a house on an acre, that sounds like a slam dunk. No, it was not. This house probably, at a minimum, needed about $70,000 worth of work. So even if you paid 88 plus 70, you're in the house for 158, 160,000. At a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home on an acre down in an area that needs a flood zone, that's not as good of a deal as it might sound when you first look at it. What I want to explain was with HUD's website, what's really cool is that you can go look at the properties, and I do this all the time just to see what they're going to do. You could go place a bid and just see what happens. If you win a bid, you're not locked into the deal until they send you the contracts and sign all the 300 pages of stuff they want you to sign. But what I will do, just a tip, is I'll place a bid. If this house is $88,000, I'll place a bid for $50,000. And HUD will always have just a set number that's computer generated, that if the bid doesn't hit that number that they're looking for, that they will automatically send you an email within a day or so and tell you what HUD is looking for to get. So for instance, if a house is $88,000, I bid $50,000, they will come back with an email and say, the minimum that HUD will accept the net that HUD will accept on this, the minimum is say $78,000. So say, okay, well, you don't bid 78 because there's the commissions and other terms that you have to put into the bid, but you could figure out to the penny what exactly you would have to bid to get HUD the amount that they're looking for. And if you do that, you'll get the contract. Now, still sometimes what they come back with is still kind of silly for, they ask an 88 and you still have to bid maybe 84 to get the number that they want, then you just sit around and wait. One of the other things I like to do is you set HUDs, when you make the bid, you can set the bid to save as an automatic backup. So anytime they change the price on the house, your bid automatically gets put back in. And sometimes you don't know. It could be a month. You may forget about it. And all of a sudden you can get an email saying that your bid has been accepted. Cool. That happened to me in March. I placed a bid on a property, probably $30,000 less than what they were asking, and just kind of let it go. And before I knew it, I woke up in the morning and I had an email saying that they finally accepted it. So cool. So I ended up getting a good deal on a property that way. So if you're thinking about doing something like HUD, looking at HUD Homes and some of the properties there, don't always assume that because it's on the website that it's a great deal just from the starting price. Just like anybody else, they're trying to recoup as much money as they can, but with some patience and some skill, you can get these properties at prices that you want and know that you're never going to overpay for something. And I started my career actually bidding on HUD houses. I think I sold 13 in my first year, 9 of them to one guy. So I really got a good experience doing that, and I like doing it. The contract to the close with HUD sometimes can be a little frustrating because of some of the rules they have in place. They've gotten better, but the actual bidding and getting them is kind of the fun part. So if you have an interest in doing anything with HUD Homes, any questions, I did do a blog series a while back, and I sometimes I posted once every 6 months or something about doing this process. Let me know. You can just give me a call, or just you can message me. My number's 225-772-DAVE. So again, to rehash this whole video, go listen to 311, enjoy some rum, and go look at some HUD Homes. And if you have questions, let me know. I'll be glad to help. Talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend.